What's poppin', everyone? It's Scout Eveleth, your local realtor, and today we are tackling a big question that's on everyone's mind when they start looking into Florida's most famous retirement community. And that is, how much does it actually cost to live in the Villages in 2025? Now, spoiler alert, it's so much more than just the home price. There are various bonds, fees, monthly charges, and a few sneaky extras that can catch you off guard if you're not prepared. So, in today's video, we'll be going over the real current numbers for 2025 with nothing sugarcoated, hidden and variable cost that most people tend to overlook, and a clear breakdown of cost for everything that we'll be talking about today. So, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just wanting to stay up to date on everything that's happening here in the Villages, Florida, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Also, check out my new site, scoutthevillages.com, for the best way to browse homes and compare the cost by area, linked at the top of the description down below. Alright, without further ado, let's break it down. Let's break down the numbers. First, let's start with the foundation of your budget, which is going to be the home price itself. Now, the Villages is not a one-size-fits-all community. It's a sprawling, vibrant place with neighborhoods that each have their own vibe, amenities, and most importantly, price points. Now, if you're just starting out or you want a cozy, low-maintenance spot for snowbirding, patio villas are going to be your entry ticket. These are compact, easy to care for homes, and in 2025, you'll find them listed anywhere from about $220,000 to about $350,000. And they are usually the perfect entry-level home or low-maintenance option for singles, couples, or anyone who wants to spend more time enjoying the amenities and less time being at home. Now, if you crave a bit more space or privacy, maybe a fenced yard for your pup, a little garden, or just some breathing room between you and your neighbors, then I would say a courtyard villa or a ranch-style home are going to be a pretty sweet upgrade compared to the patio villa. Now, these typically range from about $325 to $450, and that's depending on the size, location, and the updates done to the home. Now, these are especially popular with folks who want a larger space, whether that's to entertain or host visiting friends or family. Now, if you're dreaming big, think panoramic golf course views and water vistas, or a brand new build with all the bells and whistles, then maybe a designer home is where you'll want to start looking. These homes usually start around $500,000 and can go well above that, especially for premium lots or custom features. Now, these homes are often larger with open floor plans, gourmet kitchens, and luxury finishes. They're the showpieces of the Villages, and they come with a price tag to match. But the home price is really just the beginning, so what we're going to be focusing on today is all of the other costs of homeownership beyond just the sales price. Now, for today's video, most of the costs we will be discussing will be for a patio villa, as they are the entry-level home, which is perfect for most people looking to move to the Villages. So, if you're thinking about buying a much more expensive home, the cost will certainly be higher, but this should give you a pretty good ballpark for most of the average price homes in the Villages. And also, be sure to stick around until the very end, where I'll have a full breakdown of all the costs that we're about to talk about, so you can clearly see and compare them. So, let's get right into it. Now, first, when you buy in the Villages, there is usually a bond that is associated with that particular home. Now, this isn't a bond like you would typically see for the stock market or on Wall Street. Instead, it's a special assessment that is basically a loan you take on from the builder or previous owner that helped pay for the roads, utilities, streetlights, and other infrastructure in your neighborhood. Now, instead of paying all of these costs up front, which can easily be tens of thousands of dollars, you pay the bond over a 20 to 30-year period with interest on your annual property tax bill. For most homes, this is going to add an extra $84 to $167 per month, or about $1,000 to $2,000 per year. And the bond is not optional unless it has already been paid off from a previous owner ahead of time, and most people expect to include it along with their annual property taxes. Speaking of, let's briefly talk about property taxes in the Villages. Now, taxes are based on the assessed value of your home and the local millage rates, which will vary quite a bit based on the county and the community. But if we wanted to base it on a purchase price of, let's say, $350,000, in 2025, you can expect the taxes to range from about $3,500 to $5,500, which is roughly $292 to about $450 on a monthly basis. Now keep in mind, if you plan on making this your full-time residence, you'll likely qualify for a homestead exemption, which could save you about $400 to $600 per year on your property taxes. Now if you have questions about that, be sure to leave them in the comments down below, or check with your local tax collector to see what you may qualify for, which could possibly save you a good amount of money on your taxes. Now, homes in Sumter County, which covers the majority of the villages, usually pay less than those in Lake County thanks to the local lower tax rates. But even within Sumter, your tax bill can vary wildly depending on your home's value, whether you have a bond, and if it has a local city or town assessment. Now, this is a detail that's easy to overlook when you're caught up in the excitement of house hunting, but it can make a huge difference in the long-term budget of owning your home. Now, let's really dive into the nuts and bolts of your monthly bills, which is going to be the recurring costs that keep your home running and your lifestyle going. These are the expenses you'll need to budget for every single month, even if you own your home outright and have no mortgage. First up is going to be the amenity fee, which is the golden ticket to everything the Villages has to offer. As of January 2025, the amenity fee is $199 per month on recently closed homes, which is not optional and it is required for every homeowner. Well, let's talk about what you get for this monthly amenity fee, and the answer is quite a lot actually. This gives you access to dozens of recreational centers, swimming pools, pickleball courts, and tennis courts, as well as fitness trails and hundreds of clubs and activities, as well as free golf on the executive golf courses. This is the backbone of the Village's active lifestyle, and it's what sets this community apart from almost anywhere else in the country. Next, there is the trash collection, which usually runs at about $22 per month. Now this is a small fee, but it covers regular curbside pickup as well as yard waste removal. And in a community as large as the Villages, efficient waste management is a must, and this fee ensures that your neighborhood stays clean and tidy. Next, we have the water and sewer charges, which are two separate costs, but they generally add up to be between $80 and $100 per month for most residents. That said, like many other utilities, these costs can vary quite a bit depending on your home's size, your lifestyle, and even the season. Water usage tends to fluctuate month to month, especially if you enjoy gardening, maintaining a large lawn, or frequently run your irrigation system. Many homes in the Villages come with an automatic irrigation system, and while they're great for keeping your lawn healthy, they can quietly drive up your water bill if left unchecked. Particularly during Florida's hot and dry periods, which is going to usually be the early spring and summer. The good news is that once Florida's rainy season kicks in, which usually starts in late May and early June, you can often scale back your irrigation schedule. Many residents find they can either cut back on watering days or turn off their systems entirely for stretches of time, which can significantly reduce their water bill. Some even adjust their irrigation system manually week by week based on the rainfall, which adds up to some real savings over time. Now, every home is charged a base irrigation fee even if you don't use it, so even during the really rainy months, you will see a small charge, but controlling how much water actually runs through the system will definitely keep your cost low. And it's a good idea to learn how your timer works, to check for leaks, and just get comfortable making these small adjustments. A little attention to detail here can go a long way towards keeping your monthly utility cost under control. But next, we have the electricity and gas cost, which is another biggie, especially during the summer months. With temperatures regularly topping 90 degrees, that means your air conditioner will be working extra hard and the power bill will usually be higher than other times of year. Most residents report spending anywhere from about $150 to about $250 or more per month. Now, the size and efficiency of the home plays a huge role, where larger homes and older systems or poorly insulated spaces will also naturally cost more to heat and cool. And then there's personal comfort, where if you prefer to keep your thermostat set low during Florida's hot and humid summers, expect to see that reflected on your electricity bill. But on the flip side, using natural gas for cooking, hot water, or even drying clothes can shift some of the load off your electric bill, but you'll still be paying for that gas usage every month. Another consideration is whether you're living in the villages year-round or just seasonally. Many residents are snowbirds, meaning they only spend the cooler months here, which is usually when electricity costs are going to be much lower. Their bills may only reflect the mild weather conditions, whereas the air conditioner isn't running constantly. But for the full-time residents, especially during the summer months, air conditioning becomes a bigger expense, and the bills will usually be quite a bit higher. So, if you plan to live in the villages all year, it's wise to budget on the higher end of the range, particularly if you work from home, use additional appliances, or simply prefer a cooler home environment. Now, let's talk about home insurance, which is a hot topic here in the villages, and for good reason. The state's unique set of risk, including hurricanes, sinkholes, and high humidity, combined with the rising construction cost and labor cost, have made insurance premiums more expensive and harder to predict in the recent years. In 2025, most homeowners in the villages can expect to pay anywhere between $100 to $300 per month for a standard home insurance policy. Now that is quite a big range, and that's because the price will vary significantly depending on a few key factors. Now, if your home is older and has an outdated roof or lacks certain safety features like storm shutters or a reinforced garage door, your rate could be much higher. And on the flip side, newer homes may qualify for discounts due to newer roofs and better building standards. It's also important to consider how much coverage you actually need. Now, a basic policy might not include protection against some of Florida's most common threats. Wind, hurricane, or flood damage is often excluded or requires a separate insurance rider. And while the villages itself isn't considered a high-risk flood zone, unexpected weather events or even local drainage issues could still cause damage. And that's why it's essential to shop around and compare quotes and make sure to read the fine print. Not all policies are created equal, and some may leave you more vulnerable to bigger out-of-pocket costs in the event of a major storm or natural disaster. And working with a local Florida insurance agent who understands the risk specifically in the villages can be a huge help. Also, if you're interested, be sure to ask about sinkhole coverage, because that usually is only offered at an additional cost, especially in certain parts of Central Florida. But the bottom line is, homeowners insurance isn't just another bill, it's part of your peace of mind, so make sure your policy actually protects you from the risk that matter most. But next, we have the bond and CDD assessments, which are often misunderstood that they make up a significant portion of your monthly expenses here in the villages. Now, as we mentioned earlier, on a property that was purchased for about $350,000, the taxes will typically range anywhere from about $3,500 to about $5,500 per year, or $292 to $459 per month, depending on your home's location, value, and county. But on top of that, you'll likely have an annual bond payment and CDD, which is Community Development District assessments. Now, just for the sake of example, assuming you have a home with a $10,000 bond balance, your annual bond payment will be anywhere from about $900 to $1,000 per year. Now, the CDD assessments have two components, which is going to be your fire assessment and your maintenance fee. The fire assessment covers the cost of fire and EMS services throughout the villages, and the maintenance fee covers the upkeep and repair of the common areas and community amenities, not the individual property maintenance. The fire assessment usually costs about $360 per year, and the maintenance fee can range anywhere from about $450 to $650 per year. And while these charges are bundled together on your annual tax bill, it's important to break them apart so you can clearly understand where your money is going. But let's not stop there because there are some little things that can really sneak up on you, especially in Florida, where the climate and the community play a big role in what you should budget for. First up is going to be pest control and termite bonds, which are a must have for most people here in the villages. Now, termites can be a year round threat in Florida, and a single infestation can cause thousands of dollars in damages before you even know they're there. A termite bond is like an insurance policy that covers annual inspections and treatments if needed. Generally, I would expect to pay anywhere from $200 to $500 per year for this peace of mind, and it's a small price to pay to avoid a big headache down the road. Now, the cost of this will vary depending on the level of service and how regular they use treatments as well as preventative measures for your home. Most people do this to protect your home from infestations that can cause real damage over time. And next, we have lawn care, which can be a bit of a wild card sometimes. Most people don't plan on maintaining their own lawn or landscaping in the villages, so you'll need to budget for mowing, edging, fertilizing, and weed control services. Now, on average, that can run anywhere from about $60 to $150 per month, depending on the size and complexity of your yard. For most people, it's worth the investment to keep your landscaping looking lush and well-maintained year-round. Pressure washing can be another regular expense here in Florida. The combination of the heat, humidity, and frequent rains means that mold, mildew, and algae can sometimes build up quickly on your driveways, sidewalks, and even on the exterior of your home. Most residents will schedule a professional power washing service once or twice a year, and that usually costs about $150 to $250 per visit. It keeps your home looking fresh and helps prevent long-term damage from grime and the growth. Now, exterior painting is less frequent but can be an important cost to keep in mind. Now, the Florida sun is relentless, and even the best quality paint will start to fade or peel or chalk after a few years sometimes. And because of this, some residents plan to repaint their home every 5 to 7 years, but this isn't always necessary, so just keep that in mind as needed. Next, we have the internet, phone, and cable, which are definitely considered essentials nowadays. Whether you're streaming your favorite shows, video chatting with family, or working from home, you'll want a reliable internet connection. I would say that plans in the villages typically range from about $60 to about $150 per month, depending on the speeds that are provided and whether you bundle in other services. Just keep in mind, all of these expenses are before factoring in a mortgage, upgrades, or lifestyle extras like dining out, golf cart maintenance, or travel. These combinations of predictable and variable costs make budgeting an essential thing to do. Now, the villages can offer a fantastic and affordable lifestyle, but only if you go in with your eyes wide open what your true monthly costs will end up being. But now, let's bring it all together with a clear breakdown of all the cost. So here are all the expenses one by one with a final total of all the cost of everything being added up at the very end. First, we have the amenity fee, which will be $199 per month. Next, I would estimate the trash, water, and sewer to be about $115 per month. Then I'd budget the electricity and the gas to cost about $200 per month. Home insurance will vary quite a lot, but generally I'd say $200 per month is in the realm of what you can expect to pay. For taxes, again, these will vary quite a lot, but on a $350,000 home, I'd say that about $4,500 per year or $375 per month is a pretty good general estimate. And remember, that doesn't include if this ends up being your primary residence, how you can qualify for a homestead exemption, saving you $400 to $600 per year on the taxes. But next, we have the bond payment and CDDs, which will also vary a lot, but I would say about $1,800 per year or $150 per month will put you in the ballpark. Now, pest control will range, again, depending on the level of service, but about $350 per year or $30 per month is a pretty good estimate. Your internet, phone, and cable will be about $105 per month, depending on what you bundle, and the lawn care will usually be about $105 per month as well. So if you take all these monthly costs, they add up to $1,479 or about $1,500 per month budgeting for all these items. And again, this is before any type of mortgage, so if you're financing your home, you'll need to make sure you add that on top of these costs. Now, this breakdown covers what I believe to be the most common items, but your actual cost and spending could be much higher or much lower, depending on the type of home you have, the utilities you use, or if you enjoy a more active or social lifestyle. So let's wrap it all up with a few key takeaways to help tie everything together. So generally, I'd expect to pay anywhere from $1,400 to $1,500 per month to cover these home-related expenses. Again, this is not including your mortgage, and this mostly covered utilities, taxes, fees, and some essential services. The hidden fees, like the bonds and the CDDs, can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly budget, so always ask for a full breakdown of these costs before you commit to buy any home. And location truly does matter. Your county, neighborhood, and even your street can affect your taxes, fees, and access to the amenities. So make sure you do your homework and compare options again before you commit to a particular home. Extras and lifestyle choices can significantly increase or decrease your monthly spending, where the more active and social you are, the more you'll want to budget for fun and convenience. Now, the Villages isn't the cheapest place to live, but for many residents, the amenities, activities, and sense of community are worth every penny. And if you value an active social lifestyle and want to make the most of your retirement years, it's hard to beat what the Villages has to offer. So, after all that, what do you think? Would you consider the Villages to be an affordable place to live? If you're serious about making the move, the best thing you can do is sit down and create a detailed budget that reflects your lifestyle, your housing preferences, and your long-term goals. Now, if you have questions about bond amounts, neighborhood differences, or how to get the best value for your money, drop a comment down below, send me a message, or visit scoutthevillages.com, again linked at the top of the description, for the latest listings as well as other helpful resources. And if you found this deep dive helpful or enjoyable, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to share this video with anyone who's thinking about making the move to the Villages, which is Florida's friendliest hometown. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.